All right, cheers. All right, welcome back to Our Minds Lifestyle. I'm your host, Kaydan Belay.
And I'm Ethan Belay.
And
what was the worst thing that you have, like the most superficial thing that you have lost interest in a person for?
It's a good question. Lost interest? I don't know. You tell me. Is there one for you?
Yes, I think it was partly due to my ignorance, though.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, so, man, this might be TMI, but essentially, I was talking to this girl years ago, and got a hotel, everything. Picked her up, took her on a date, went back to the hotel. We had sex, but like it was really dry, like very, very dry. But afterwards, like, and I had never had that happen before, so it threw me off. Like I was like it really threw me off because I didn't know what was going on. Like I just didn't know what to think. Like I was completely ignorant on it. So I pretty much ghosted her, never talked to her again. Yeah.
So you stopped talking to her because it was dry?
Yeah.
So were your intentions to like never like were your intentions just to smash anyway? Or
I mean,
could you
we
see
were
her
just,
like y'all actually dating and being a couple?
We was just more like friends with benefits.
This is when you were like 17, right?
I was 18.
18.
I was like 18. But I felt really bad afterwards. But like looking back at it now, I was like, well, maybe she just wasn't like aroused or in the mood, or maybe she was nervous. Because then like, I would have.
So did you finish?
I mean, best as I could. It was like, bro, it was horrible.
So my thing for you, if it's like bad, like why don't you stop? Because it might be bad for her. Like
yeah, exactly, right,
too.
Exactly. That was the thing. Looking back at it now, I was like, well, maybe it's bad for her. Maybe it was bad for her as well. And it was like the last thing I want.
So you were probably thinking it felt good to her, and you're thinking.
Yeah, like.
Y'all probably both were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like she was like into it, like, but for me,
so she
it
was
just
faking.
Could have been, yeah, like big faking. I don't know, but I'm like, dang, like I don't want to like.
And see, that's the part where like you gotta have those uncomfortable conversations, and I know like that probably messed up sex for y'all at that time, unless y'all both could have talked it out, grabbed some food, and like maybe tried it again. But sometimes when things like that happen, it kind of kills the whole night. For women, I know at least sometimes.
I feel like I've definitely. I mean, I was 17, 18.
Right.
The last thing I wasn't in the headspace to be with whatever.
You was like, all right, to be honest, you probably were like, all right, you're bad, like, let's have sex. And back then, do you feel like because you always been like, even when we started dating, at least with me, you took your time, like you tried to get to know what I like. You would ask me questions, like tell me, like ask me to show you or tell you what I like. Were you like that around that age too?
No, but from that experience, I learned to be that way.
So at what part, because did you just have that realization like now, or did you have that realization back then, like after you dropped her off?
I had that realization maybe like a year after I dropped her off.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, like what if I wasn't as attentive?
Right.
I could have been in a situation.
And you never thought to like, let me hit her up again?
No, I mean
not after a year,
yeah,
but like
even she had messaged. She was like, "Dang, like like we had sex and then you just ghosted me after," and I didn't respond to that either. So there's no coming back from that, and I felt like a jerk for it because that's not even the type of person that I was. Like I was even like when I was single, I was never the type to be like date a girl, have sex with her, and just ghost her. That's not even who I am or who I was.
Right.
That situation it was something about it. It just made me feel like real, like. Awkward, and I didn't know how to face it or just have the conversation.
You're right. So there's a few times I remember feeling that way. Even like with one of our times that we were dating a woman, and she started during sex, right? Mm-hmm. Neither one of us told her the reason why we stopped is because she started,
But it was our first time ever having it happen.
It was the first time it ever happened.
Like,
and then there's a little more to the story that we're not sharing, but just know that she did start, and because of some other stuff, we was like, all right, well, we kind of like just stopped.
We
but we know,
we
eased our way out, but we know she didn't have an orgasm. Neither one of us did. So we know that it was probably like one of the bad experiences. I know she had to know, because when she went to the bathroom, she had to know.
Like, oh, well, I started.
But it's just the fact that we never had that uncomfortable conversation with her to know, like, okay, well, the reason we stopped was because of this. And I realized sometimes it's because it's awkward.
Yeah.
But maybe that's one thing that I want to start doing. And for y'all, if y'all are dealing with anything out there where you're in a situation and you know you want to tell somebody something, but you're kind of nervous for how they're going to feel, to be honest, it is always going to be awkward. But as long as you're doing it in a respectful way for the most part, and the other person is in a good headspace to receive it, I would just be honest with them. So like with that, like I think we all just went straight to bed.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. She went to bed.
She slept in the living room, I think. She ended up sleeping in the living room. And we went to bed.
Yeah. And we went to go shower and clean up and stuff.
Yeah, we all parted ways. But it's like, that's very awkward. Like even us talking about it, I'm like reliving the moment. And I'm like, that's awkward.
And it could have, and to be honest with you, that was my first time having it happen in that situation.
And I probably didn't make it better for you.
Before where we've like messed around, and like since we're like, since we mess with each other all the time, then it's like, okay, hey, you started, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? But for somebody to be like, in that situation, like, where it's all three of us, and it's our first time all together.
Because if I'm messing with a girl,
I'm
not messing with a girl.
Right up into that moment.
Yeah, I know. Everything was just great. It was a great experience, and I don't know. That's like something I wish if I could go back, I would definitely get myself together and then have that conversation with her, and then like maybe like us continue to have like a fun night after having that uncomfortable conversation. Not necessarily fun sexual, but like fun, just like talking or something. Like you want more wine, like you want y'all want to watch a movie, or you want to play this game, or you just want to have a conversation, you want to go for a ride, like want to go get something to eat. Well, it was kind of really late, so we probably wouldn't have gotten nothing to eat, but just doing something versus like just not saying anything, not finishing, never having a conversation again, and just going to bed.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way we ended that.
And that was, I think, like, looking back at that situation too, I would have been like, we didn't ghost her like I did before, but we didn't have that conversation.
But there's a lot of people, we've been ghosted before.
We have been ghosted.
And like with this whole, like, I don't know if there's anyone, or just people, I mean, y'all can relate, because if anyone's dating, you can relate. But one thing that's been bothering me about like us dating and having like our experiences is if there's, or anybody, even if it's a friend or somebody you're trying to date, is if you don't like something about somebody, or for some reason if you're just having a different opinion, then just say something. Because the one girl that we were talking to, like the conversation was great. Like the messages were back to back. They weren't like one worded, because like that's like a big, like if you're just gonna send me one word, I'm already done with the conversation. Because apparently you're not trying to engage in the conversation, and it's like no point. But she was doing all that. We talked on the phone. She was cool. Like everything was great. And then for her to make plans for another day and then not follow through, and then like kind of like block us or follow up the side of the word. Yeah, it's like, because it also makes the other person like
did you
made me feel worse not telling me why you're not talking to me, versus if you were just like, hey guys, I'm not really feeling this idea, or I'm uncomfortable. Because a lot of women, they're very nervous. And I understand, because I think I tell you this all the time. If I was a single woman coming into a relationship with a couple, I would be very nervous, and I don't think I would do it. I could not see myself doing it. I have the personality for it, but I feel like I definitely couldn't do it, because there's a lot of emotions that I don't know if I just even want to do with it. Because a lot of couples deal with a lot of stuff. So for couples out there, and then like some of the social media and some of these memes and all this stuff going on, people aren't making it appealing to even want to be around it. Because they're like, oh, like there's some memes where like women will get mad. And it's like, oh, we're fighting in the bedroom. And it's like, a girl came here for a good time. She ain't come here to fight.
Right. Yeah, so, and I feel that. I think that's more the responsibility of I think it's a responsibility of all people involved, but also with the couple, you have to be in a proper headspace to even be able to handle that. the last thing we want is to be arguing. Like you said, the girl want to have a good time. Shoot, we want to have a good time.
Right.
So all of that is unnecessary. There poly can be cringy online, depending on how much you like. There's some couples out there, like their content is super cringy, and it's just like, it don't make it. I'm poly, and I don't even want to be poly.
That's what I'm saying. Like
so
you are not making me want to. But then there are a few out there. It's like, okay, like
they live.
that's dope. You know what I mean?
It's a few poly relationships that I vibe with them, and I vibe with their content. But also too, with dating, because I know that everybody's like superficial, and I know that we said we would talk about it on the last episode.
Yes.
But like pretty much overhearing that girl talk about her date with a guy, and long story short, she pretty much went on a date with a guy. The date was dope. She said the guy was attractive. It was one small thing that turned her completely off, and that was his laugh.
Yep.
And I'm like, bruh, like you sound crazy right now. But I was also playing devil's advocate in my own brain as I was.
She's like, well,
because I'm like, yo, if the dude showed up to the table and he started like laughing wild,
what's a wild laugh?
Like if I was to go on a date with a girl and we go out to eat and we're ordering dinner, and then we say a joke. Let's say the waiter asks, what type of meat, would you like on that? Oh, she loves her meat. And she laughs and she's like, like that would blow me. Like,
but
I don't know.
It really depends. Cause like to me, that would be funny. So it's like every time you laugh.
Right. Like her laugh would make me laugh.
Now long term, there's certain things about you. There's certain things about a person that can become annoying long term. But it could, if it's something where, like for example, like I have two different types of sneezes, and some people think one of my sneezes sound cute because it sounds like I'm moaning, but then there's a sneeze where, and there's sometimes a sneeze where, right, but it feels so good and it comes out naturally. And there's some sneezes that just don't come out like that, or like just the nasty ones. So it really just depends. But like even the moaning part, like that could become annoying to somebody. Some people think it's cute.
Your
some people think it's annoying,
bro.
See?
It is
but
annoying.
It's like, imagine if you were...
you do it that way every time.
Imagine if you were not... Imagine if you were to not talk to me.
First of all, whoever sneezes and says the word hachu is clearly faking it. Like,
first of all, I don't say hachu.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
No,
you say hachu.
No,
every time, bro. Every time.
I do not. You're lying.
Okay.
He's lying.
I'm going to record her and I'm going to post
Record
it.
me.
All right.
And post it. You have my consent.
Cool. And it's recorded that I have her consent.
It is. But no, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if, in that particular case, if there's so many pros and your one con is a laugh, like, let me hear this laugh. Like, this laugh has to be pretty wild and hysterical.
My laugh ain't the most...
No, when you get into a good laugh...
Yeah, a good laugh ain't supposed to sound good.
It's coming from the...
Hey, just
soul.
like good sex ain't supposed to sound good either. Like, if you ain't in there, your voice ain't breaking and cracking and falling apart, then you ain't doing
There's
something
one time I felt like I sound like a pterodactyl, and I was like, this cannot be sexy. I was like, but then there's a few noises that you had made before.
I made some noises.
But you know what's crazy? You make weird noises, but to me, I like that. That sounds good. So that's what I'm saying. It really just, everybody's different. I just think that the dating market wouldn't be too trash if some people just opened up and like it wasn't so quick to let people down. Because one thing that does happen is that people are quick to go with the toxic person that clearly has 5 red flags up front, but then they have maybe 2, like I said, they have 5 cons and 2 pros. They're like, oh, these pros could be really good, and outside of these pros, they have like 6 potentials. But because they never get to their potentials, they still go with the person that has the most cons. And then there's people that have 5 pros, 1 con, which is a laugh, 6 to 3 potentials, and you won't choose that person.
You want to know what it is, though?
Why?
You have trauma. Then you have social media. Mm-hmm. Then you have... And the reason why I say social media is because the people that are shown the most are typically like, the people that are shown the most like, but also it's confusion about like what, if you have somebody, this is how I can put it. If you have somebody that's like good to you all the time, you're going to be bored of that and get numb of that. it's kind of like for
you know, it's funny. I was
it's
having
kind of
that
like
thought.
for people that smoke weed. Like they might at first they might only need to hit it once and get a good buzz or get get high. But then after a while, your tolerance gets built up over it. You know what I mean? So now you got to face a blunt. You know what I mean? Or you turn into that person that's smoking all day long. Now,
so you're saying that
you compare
toxicity,
that to love, right? Now you compare that to like dating. Like you got that guy that's like, you know he's gonna take care of you. You know he's like great, and you may either like that in the beginning, or you may just be like, whatever. Most women lose interest in good guys. My mother argues, no shade to my mom, but she argues with me all the time about it. Like, cause I told her, I was like, the good guys you passed up. I've seen all the guys she dated. Like, most of the good ones that was boring, that worked their little job, that just wanted to take care of you.
And that's the sad part, cause there's ones that, not your mom, but like there's just people that if they know that they're dealing with other people, they rather keep that person around, knowing they're not the only one, but then get mad that they weren't the only one. It's just a lot. I maybe it goes to that whole thing where you want the opposite of what you are, and you also, like they say, opposites attract, and then you also just want what you can't have in a sense.
So you have somebody that's like bad per se, it's gonna be a fun thrill, and also instead of having that unlimited positivity and pleasure or whatever, not even, I can't even call them pleasure, but that unlimited treating you right, you got spurts of it. So it puts you through a roller coaster.
Right.
And women fall into this trap all the time.
But there's another way that you used to tell me too. Like in our relationship, you don't always do what I want you to do. And you don't always not do what I want you to do. It's kind of like a balance. And it's like, and it's also because sometimes it could just be, it's not because you're choosing not to, but no, you're not toxic. But sometimes it's just like, you're not always going to give me what I want at that time. And sometimes that's good. Vice versa for me too. Like I'm not always going to please you and do what you want when you want me to do it. And then neither are you. And it's as sad as that kind of sounds, that's what also helps keep our balance in our relationship. Because then I'm not just that person that you can walk over. You're like, nah, I got her eating out of the palm of my hand. She's going to do whatever I want. And vice versa for you.
I mean, that is the case.
That's not the case. We
You
don't
do
always.
Whenever I want you to.
There's a few things I haven't done that might be still keeping you here. I don't know, but it's just.
I'm here because I want to be here. It's not because you keep me here.
This is true, which is true. And I also feel like we got to the point where we're mature in our relationship. There's a lot of immaturity in relationships.
Very true.
I think that we just got to the point where we became more mature in our relationship. So in the beginning, that is how we used to maneuver. Like we weren't doing it intentionally. That just was our personalities. That's all I'm trying to say.
I feel that. But no, I think that you got unrealistic expectations, and I think old girl, like, unless the dude had a really weird off the wall.
I don't know.
Laugh.
How bad could a laugh really be?
I feel like, but the way she was saying it, she didn't talk about how ugly it is. Like, if it was like a very animated, crazy, weird laugh, she would have reenacted it. Like, no, he literally laughs like this. Like, but no, she was just like, I don't like his laugh. And I was like, okay, well, it sounds like it's more of a personal thing for you that you just don't like his laugh. But when it comes to dating, she don't gotta like his laugh. That's fine.
And you're not gonna like something about.
And it might be her laugh.
For you to like, because I'm pretty sure even with me and you, we've been together 10 years. I know that you don't like every single thing about me, and I don't like every single thing about you. But I do like
everything about me.
You're right, baby. I do. But
see? She loves everything.
There are some times where we could dislike the way somebody is. Like there might be a personality that comes out at certain times. And to be honest, when you smoke, like I have a bittersweet because you get so dingy, and I'm like, all right, bro, like this is.
That's why I don't smoke a lot.
This is where I'm like, all right, well, I like the fact. What I like about it is because it kind of like breaks a barrier of like, if you kind of like when you have that good buzz, you're like, I don't really care what's going on. I don't care what's not going right over here. Your personality is just vibrant. You're able to laugh. You're like a comedian around that time. Like you just let yourself be you. But on the flip side to that, you become so dingy where I have to be like, did you just smoke? Because if I say that and you said yes, I know how to carry myself. So now I'm not upset with you when you're being dingy. And vice versa. I'm pretty sure there's something I do where you're like, all right, I'm just letting her be her right now. Because it is important to let somebody be them in a relationship and understand that you can't control them. And if it's something that you don't like, you do have to learn to walk away. But that's where it goes into pros and cons. I'm not going to walk away. And I briefly did talk about this before, like in the beginning of our relationship. You wish I was a little thicker in the beginning. And
no, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
You did say that.
I've never said that.
You said I wasn't.
I said that I like I typically go after thicker girls.
Yeah.
That don't mean that I wish that you were thick.
No, that is what you said.
You that's what listen, that's not what I said. What I was telling you was what I typically go for.
So do you wish I was a little thicker?
You could wherever you at.
No. Answer the question.
Gonna throw that thing in the circle.
Do you wish that I was a little thicker? Yes or no?
I'm cool either way.
No, it's a yes or no.
I'm cool either way.
Yes or no?
I don't have a type. I'm cool either way. You know this.
You always use this term, my ideal.
Yes, my ideal type of like I have a variety.
What is your ideal? Am I your ideal?
Yeah, you fit under the description. It's because it's not like a.
Here we go.
It's not like you have to look this exact way for me to find you attractive. It's like. I like a variety of spectrum.
I know. You have a variety, but then you have a part of me that ideal.
As long as she takes care of herself.
No. Like, now you're explaining different. Be real.
I'm being very real.
Be real. You have a variety, and then you have an ideal, right?
Yes.
Because even when you said before,
you just said the same exact thing I did, but backwards.
No.
You said the order backwards.
Mine's different.
Yes. So I have a variety of tastes that I like.
Yes.
And then I have my ideals.
Okay, so if I never gain weight, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not gaining weight for you
because my
anyway,
ideal type, there's still a spectrum within that.
Right.
Like.
Okay, so for example, like I guess to answer the question earlier when we talked about it, like with your teeth in the beginning of our relationship, I was like, well, I don't like that he has so many teeth. Like I literally said that, and it's like that. Me personally. My teeth wasn't 100% good, so how am I had to get braces. You had to get braces, so we both had to get braces. So who am I to not talk to you because you need braces and but I also need braces myself.
But what shows, gentlemen, that the stuff that you're insecure about, don't worry about it. And if you're insecure about it, if you're that insecure about it, fix it.
Fix it. If it's something you can't fix, then just learn to embrace it and cherish it.
My teeth, I've always been very insecure about my teeth. Fortunately, I've been in a place to where I can get them fixed. I still have these braces on. But before this, my teeth were way worse and I looked like a construction zone. Construction project is almost completed. However, they were really bad. Like I had teeth down in the bottom of my gums and all types of wild stuff. But it was something I was insecure about and I fixed it. So,
and imagine a good man that I would have missed out on if I didn't do it.
Don't walk around carrying your insecurities in the brain all the time. Like you got to understand that, hey, this is what I was born with. Be grateful that you was born with it and keep it moving. Somebody out here gonna love it. Because at the end of the day, she's still with me. We still married. We still been together for 10 years. She got with me when my teeth was at its worst. So at the end of the day, like
it wasn't
that really stop you.
You
from
had so many pros.
Game or you know what I'm saying?
No, you had so many other things that I loved about you and liked at that time that I was not going to sit here and just be like, okay, let me find something wrong with you just to pick you apart to kind of run from commitment or whatever it is I was running with.
You was talking to. So
yes, you were.
I mean, obviously I was.
Yeah, because you here.
Right.
Exactly.
Same.
So you were better.
Same. I agree.
Yeah. I don't have nothing to argue with that. I can cheers.
You came out on top.
I can cheers to that.
Because them other women I was talking to, man, it was messy. They was messy, boy.
I mean, we're going to get into that. That's like a whole other start of a conversation.
Yes, it is.
But we're going to leave you guys with this. If you are dating or if you're currently in a relationship and you're starting to find some things wrong with the person, evaluate yourself and see if you're only finding something wrong with the person because you don't really like them, but don't make it as something small as their teeth or their laugh or they got their right arm bigger than the left or they got a mole that is just bigger, whatever the case may be. You hear some wild stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you to overlook it.
I'm not saying overlook it, but I'm saying evaluate, analyze the situation, because a lot of times it could be something where maybe some people try to find something wrong with somebody where they're like, okay, maybe this person just isn't compatible. I think we need to start being a little more honest in the beginning so we're not dragging people on.
Right.
Throughout our relationship, if there's certain things, like if there's something you don't like about somebody, then don't be with them. But I'm just saying, if it's something where it's like, it's a laugh or something that you're like, it's
small.
It's so small, but they have so many other pros going for themselves. And just let them know, like, hey, like, your laugh is something that if you could change, you'd probably be a full package. And I know that kind of sounds wrong.
You can't control their laugh.
You can't control, but you never know. I don't know their situation. There's certain things that maybe he's still trying to find his laugh. Because me personally,
like if he's overweight or something.
I don't laugh out loud because I don't even know if I would like my laugh. Like when do you really hear me laugh out loud? You don't. Like, if we're watching, like, I rarely, like, if I laugh, I'm like, ha ha. Like, that's it. Like, that's my laugh. That's probably what I do.
That's not what you do.
What I do.
You laugh.
Like, how'd I laugh?
You have a cute laugh.
You know, you never heard me laugh.
That's cap.
You probably heard me, but it's not like...
Like a gut laugh for you?
Yeah, like a gut laugh.
Yeah, you have a cute laugh.
What does it sound like?
I can't do it.
Do it.
You like... I don't know. I don't know what your laugh sounds
like. Your laugh just up an octave.
No, bro. I don't know how to laugh like you, but like your laugh is a cute laugh, though. I heard it before.
Well, I'm glad you like it. But what we're getting at, guys, is just look in. Life could be so much simple if we stop overcomplicating it, and just based off of that,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Evaluate the full person.
Bro. I gotta put that on the women because I'm gonna be honest. I feel like men are. I feel like when men date, they tend to look to see what flaws can they accept and overlook. Cause dudes, it seems like women.
Which is what she should probably do.
Yeah, but I feel like more women should do that. Like,
yeah,
understand we all come to the table with some type of baggage. Even
You're saying a lot of women feel like they're.
It's like as soon as they see, yeah, it's like they move like nothing wrong with them. And we've seen these women on the internet saying like, oh, like he gotta be this and this and that and the other, but looking at herself and what she has done in any type of realm to improve herself is nothing or next to zero. And it's like, that's not really fair. Like, understand that you have to like for example, we haven't been too pressed on dating right now because we don't feel like we're at a place to be able to really invest in it the way we want to. Like we're working on so much right now. It wouldn't even be fair for us to try to establish a relationship with another woman right now. Right.
And to elaborate on what he's talking about, we talked about not becoming, but we just talked about like if we found another person, like a woman that we were comfortable with and that we all had a chemistry, would we bring her into our relationship? And we both came to the idea that we would. But what he's saying is that we are not actively dating because we know that there's stuff that, even though we have a great relationship, a great marriage, or great friendship, and that anybody that was to come in our relationship would be grateful because of the bond that we have and the bond that they can have and the value that we know we can bring to them and whatever value they bring to us. Would be great, but we know that there's things that we're working on individually, and then us working on us individually is only going to help them, and that's for anybody dating. Like you have to work on yourself individually.
If you're dating and you're not at your full potential, pull yourself right back out of the dating market.
Yeah, like you can be friends, you can go on.
Yeah. Like if you're not at your full potential,
and we're not saying don't date. Like if there's somebody that
realistic.
If there's like say for example, if we're out somewhere.
Sweetheart, I wasn't finished. So what we saying is like be more realistic. Like if you are gonna date and you're not at your full potential, we're not saying don't date. But what I'm stating to you is that be understanding to the next person that's not at his full potential or at her full potential, and see how can y'all improve together. Now, if you see this person is not at their full potential and y'all are having these conversations, but yet they're not pushing each other or pushing themselves, or you can't accept constructive criticism, or they can't accept it, then you shouldn't be dating. You shouldn't be dating that person. Or somebody shouldn't be dating you. Like, you have to be in a place. The whole reason we're looking to find somebody is not so they can be our servant and kiss our butts all day. It's so that way we can get to the next goal, the next accomplishment. Like, that's it. Like, outside of that, nothing else matters.
Right. And I know it's not always going to be the ideal situation where you're able to find somebody and you're ready. Because, like, me and you think about it. Like, if we would have sit there and waited to be... looking back, me personally, I felt like I was in a good position to date.
Yeah.
Even at 19, I felt like I was. So for you, imagine if we wouldn't have been together.
Right. Probably would have been rich by now.
Who? Me? You or me?
Me.
What? So you're saying I'm the reason you're not rich?
I'm a little bit. I would say I'm a little bit. We'll get into it. I'll get into the.
That's the next conversation. All right, we're gonna leave it right here because I'm like, what? But we're gonna give y'all the real one. We're not even gonna have this conversation off camera. Yeah. We are literally gonna stop the camera and we are going to take an intermission, and then we're gonna go ahead and record another part. So be on the lookout for that. He just part said 2. That if we.
You trying to remember? So you trying?
Yeah. What'd you say?
You remember?
Oh, he said he probably would have been rich. That's what you said.
If we haven't gotten together.
If we haven't gotten together. And I knew I want to know why he says that, and I know y'all do too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this conversation. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, leave a great review. Let us know what topics you want to hear. Let us know what you agree with and didn't agree with and disagree with. And then also, what else? Anything else you want to leave them with?
Until next time.
Go be great.